Hello, hello, and welcome to Amethyst Racing Tier 2 in Spa. It's me, Martin, and today I'm joined by...
yours truly, Alex Fox Johnson.
As we get ready for qualifying here in Spa, it looks like it's sunny, but will it be sunny for the race is another question, as I believe that is a Blue Williams of Not Monk leading the pack. Who is that leading the pack?
It's Soybean leading the pack.
So Mr. Bean will be the first car to set a lap for us today.
I like that, Mr. Bean.
Currently on a warm-up. Who do we reckon will be this is the league race, this isn't the charity race. You have to sign up and for the you have to sign up, Mr. Shike, and you'll be put in a tier based on your pace. But anyway, who do we reckon will get pole today? You got a few quali merchants out here in Soybean, Skowski, and Alex Harris. Don't write off Ule, although he does have a grid penalty to serve today.
He does indeed, and we know this pack is very, very close together. Tier 2, we've seen in previous races, they're all within, like, the top 15 are all within 5/10 of each other. So really it could go any way, because this is a long track. You can make, well, longest track on the calendar, really. You can make many, many mistakes at many different corners. So it's all down to damage limitation, really.
What do you mean? Oh, Jeff gave someone a number that was already given. Oh, my days.
Oh, Pavich! Who's he giving that to, then?
He's given Newlands Katana's number.
Wait, no, you gave Newlands the number 90, though, didn't you?
No. I gave Loadman number 90. And guess what? That number's working fine.
Oh, Pavich.
You can moan at Pavich for me, then, Byland. I'll let you moan at Pavich. But meanwhile, it is Soybean coming around through No Name now. And then it's on to Puom.
He's kept this lap nice and tidy. He hasn't really taken any risks, staying well within track limits, which I don't blame him. It's his first run of qualifying. He wants to set a banker, and it doesn't need to be the fastest time of the session.
All 19 cars are currently on the track.
Yeah, I saw a bit of a queue forming Oh,
big snap for Bean there. That's going to have lost him a good 10th or two.
If not more. That was a massive snap.
Oh, and there's an Alpine going slow out of turn 5. What's going on there, Alex?
He has spun. That is, I don't have any of the nicknames on, so
What is the name in game?
Wassa Phoenix.
That'll be Binder.
Binder.
But Soybean drives towards the line, setting the first lap of the race. And Bean setting a 1:43.1.
That's still a very, very good lap.
Next up is going to be, my guess would be Kiziel. And Kiziel beating that just. And now it's going to be Alfred Monk, the drunk man.
Drunky monkey.
Almost a second off the time. Skalski, a little bit off the pace as well. Next is going to be Nick Mangano. Mangano goes P5 instead. Then it's a Ferrari of... not Justin Hooven, of Marco Mangano. Who didn't set a time. Hooven is only P7. And then it's the Alpine of Van Loon. Van Loon puts it P5.
Good effort from him.
Next up is going to be Mans Livingston. It is Livingston next. Livingston goes P10 at the moment. Slowest of the drivers. Vlad goes P5. Mans Vandenberg besting Vlad Rosu. Meanwhile, Marquinhos puts it P3. And then it's going to be Ryan Much. Much only fast enough for P12. Binder not going to be finishing his lap. Next up is going to be...
Harris P5.
Harris P5. And then it's going to be... Lodeman going P6 on his debut here today. So Lodeman putting down a big time. The AlphaTauri, who's named as the...
Oh! Big collision between Ule and Matthews there. Ule was just on the racing line at Puon, and Matthews has just... he's gone through Puon and just smacked Ule out the way. I'm imagining there's going to be a report there.
Was Matthews on a lap?
He was indeed on a lap.
Oh.
It looked like Ule tried to get out the way, but he was too much on the racing line. It just ended up with him being smacked out of the way.
Oh boy. So Matthews, the last car on a lap right now. Will he finish this lap off, or will he choose now instead to go into the pits? And he chooses to go into the pits instead. So
I'm not surprised with that one.
Matthews, the only car not to set a lap.
I'd just like to say, look at the gap between P3 and P4.
Ooh, Hooven is invalidated his lap. It looked like he was about to start. No, it's Marco starting a lap.
I will check for you.
I'm watching him. He's the only one who's gone back around the start-finish line. He's 9. He's rears flashing. I'm been lied to.
But yeah, the gap between P3 and P4, that's like a 2.5 gap.
The front three very tightly together. The Hasses will be very happy with that, running first and third as things stand. Marquinhos stepping in for the now got a girlfriend not playing games with Matthias Rasmussen. So
everyone into the pits.
Everyone was out at the same time, so everyone comes in at the same time.
Oh, I believe that Skalski is on the lap. He's on an out lap, sorry.
So we shall follow Skalski, who's currently running P5. On his out lap.
Yeah, I mean, these times are pretty representative. I mean, some aren't because it is the first laps of the qualifying session, but Hooven is down in P16. A second off of P1. We don't usually see that from him.
Livingston reserving today for the McLaren. Also, quite a way down the list.
He is indeed. And again, he's reserving, so he may not have the most amount of practice, which is understandable. But once again, it's not the best of days for the Ferraris, if I'm honest.
Marco's up in P4.
He is indeed, but we usually see the Ferraris fighting for pole. We usually see him up there in P1 and P2.
Well, we will see how things transpire. As it looks like
That is Drunky Monkey making a return. He spun at Puon on his outlap.
Nice. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Mm.
Chat is saying Binder's going to get pole. As long as he can keep it clean out of turn 6, 7, he should be fine. But it's going to be Skowski now coming through the bus stop chicane to set a lap. As he heads down to La Source.
Yeah, nice and tidy turn 1. He's been a bit cautious there, I think. I don't think he's gone full send because he would have been able to carry a bit more speed through that corner. Eau Rouge and Radion. Once again, nice and tidy. That looked pretty fast. DRS down the camel straight into... I've forgotten the name of this.
I don't know the name of this one either. But you don't want to take too much curb. It might be. You can't take too much curb on entry there because the corner will just spit you out.
And the same there, through that tricky right-hander, it's very easy to spin the rear round, as we saw with Binder earlier. He managed to do that, and it's not beyond every driver. I did it last season.
Skowski sets a green sector 1. Binder actually has the fastest second sector, which means he would be running more downforce than most, I would assume.
Yeah, either that or he's just found a different line to everyone else. I mean, that's also not beyond the wit of mankind.
It was a 38.7. That's a pretty solid middle sector here.
That is, and if chat's saying he's going to get pole, he may be really quick. Skowski sets purple sector 2, maybe?
No, green sector 2.
Game's bugging out.
Binder's second sector bugged out as well.
Uh.
But it's going to be Skowski now, coming up to the bus stop chicane. He has been improving, so he might be able to leapfrog a few of the guys in front. Just needs a good drive out of this final corner. Skowski, no green sectors, might I add. No purple sectors, even. Sets the fastest lap, and next up is going to be not Marco Mangano as he invalidates, so it will be the drunk man himself in Monk. What can Monk do to improve? He spins! Monk spins on the bus stop chicane! He was green through sector 1, through sector 2, but Monk spins on the final corner. He had one job.
I think he's also had one too many whiskies. That is not so good.
The next car to come around is a Justin Huveniers. Rounding the bus stop chicane, which just took Monk as its victim. Huveniers puts it P6, and that'll be the AlphaTauri partnership of Nick Mangano just crossing the line, and now it will be Newlands going P11 there, besting his teammate. And next to come over the line is Rosu, who only improves his time, still remains P12. And that's going to be the Hasses of Kizyl, who's invalidated. So it'll be Marquinhos getting a bit of snap though through the exit. And it's not an improvement either for Marquinhos. So next up is going to be, I think we need to keep an eye out for the Alpine of Van Loon. Van Loon goes P13, makes an improvement.
That is a spun Ferrari, I think. That is Marco Mangano.
Marco, who was on a lap, has not had a good one there. Is Matthews about to set a lap time? No, it's not. It's going to be Harris looking to improve. And Harris...
He's starting a lap.
Oh, he's starting a lap.
I think. Yep.
Yeah, you would be right. Harris starting his lap. Everyone else on out laps or in laps. So I think the man to watch right now would be Harris. Let's ride on board with him. Green sector almost a 10th down though on the first one with the fastest sector 1. Riding that curb.
Tidiest of lines, if I'm honest, but who knows? It may still be quick.
Through No Name now, gets on the throttle, going to be wrapping it around through Paul and takes a very wide entry into the first corner. And then wide through the second one as well, not wanting to take it tight. Chat asks if you're looking forward to chemistry tomorrow.
Me?
Yeah.
Why would I be looking forward to chemistry?
I don't know. Ty Wright has asked you that.
Oh dear.
It's a green sector 2 for Harris as well. This could be competitive with Skowski's time. Will Harris be able to pull it out of the bag? Coming up to the bus stop chicane now. Doesn't do a monk. Drives towards the line. And it's only fast enough for P5 though for Harris. Skowski, a 10th and a half. Really showing why he wants to be the driver to win the Drivers' Championship this season. And next up, I think, might be possibly Livingston or Livingston on outlap. Livingston and Matthews both on outlaps right now. So we'll be flicking between the pair of them as they go on their laps. First up, though, it will be Matthews to start his lap now. Matthews, the only car not to set a time currently. And it's a very tight field. The top 14 all within a second of one another. As Livingston has also started his lap. Might be about to get a tow from his teammate in front as well. As they seem to have timed this out very well. Livingston though on the camel straight now. Not Livingston, Matthews on the camel straight now. And Livingston is going to get a tow from his teammate. Albeit not a very long one.
Yeah, that was not really a tow, more his teammate getting out of the way.
So Livingston has been teased by his teammate. The promise of a tow was dangled in front of him. Who do I think will get pole? As things have been going, I think the pole of Skowski will get pole.
Quite possibly.
There's a lot of cars coming out and onto the track. This will be Matthews and Livingston's final lap. I don't think Harris has got enough time either to do another lap.
No, he will not. But I think Matthews and Livingston, they just wanted to get out a bit earlier. They wanted to beat the traffic, really. And
Matthews runs very wide on that corner. And he spins! Matthews spins. How has he not got wing damage?
And Livingston's invalidated. Oh, that's not grand for the pair of them.
So, Skowski will be the first. No, it will be Mans Fantenberg setting the first lap.
Well, indeed.
Or is Livingston going for another lap? It does look like Livingston going for another lap.
He is. I'm not sure he's going to have enough ERS, though.
Matthews comes into the pits. So, Matthews will be starting at the rear.
As the end for both Mercedes are.
So Harris hoping that the cars behind cannot best his time. But meanwhile, Mans Fantenberg coming up through Eau Rouge will be onto the camel straight, will be activating that DRS. Be draining his battery. The car looking a little unstable there though, a little bit wobbly. On that straight. But whipping it through turns 5, 6 and 7. And then it's the long hairpin of turn 8. In through No Name. And then it's the double apex pull-on. Trying to gain use as much of the track as he possibly can. And there's a yellow in sector 2. It's for Livingston. Is Livingston about to give his teammate a tow? Or is it the AI taking over?
No, Livingston's gone off track. I'm not sure what's happened there.
He could have given his teammate a tow.
I think he went into low fuel mode.
Yeah. Oh no. Elmans. But here we have, it's going to be Fantenberg coming around the final few corners now into the bus stop chicane. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1 through La Source. What's happened there, Alex?
I'll have a look for you. That is... that was Soybean, I believe. I think he retired.
And Mans Vandenberg goes P5. Next up, though, it will be currently on pole. The pole from Poland, Skowski, rounding the final corner now. And Skowski doesn't improve. Next up is going to be the drunk one, who's invalidated. Too much alcohol behind the wheel. Next is going to be Marco Mangano. Marco finds doesn't improve. Rosu does improve, though, for P6. And then it's... Oh, Lodeman goes P5. Lodeman pulls out of time on his debut. P5 for Lodeman.
Great effort from him.
And next up is going to be one of the AlphaTauris. Is it going to be... It's not Katana, it's Newman's.
Newlands, who is invalidated.
So it's going to be Van Loon. Rolf Van Loon gets a big snap. Right before the line. Oh,
Rolf. Up to the line and he goes P4.
And Kizzle's retired in the pits.
Nick Mangano P2!
What? Where has he pulled that time out from?
What an effort from him. Absolutely fantastic.
Ryan Munch.
Van Loon spun across the line.
Ryan Munch has spun as well, losing his wing.
How has Nick Mangano done that then?
Nick Mangano goes P2. Did he have a grid? He does have a grid pen.
Oh.
But Nick Mangano putting it P2.
What an effort from him. Not qualifying.
Insanity.
Not a great day for the Mercs either. P10 and P19.
El Mans. As we're going to get ready for a lobby restart so we can set the grid, apply the penalties and go from there. But there we have it. Skowski P1, Nick Mangano P2, Kiziel P3, Soybean P4 and Huveniers rounds out the top 5. The top 10 within 3 tenths of one another. This race could all heat up to one error.
Yes, celebrate right now. Big bird nerds, what's have you locking at the sun? All of the gal go passing when me boy I go drop them a coming. Murder. Me are the burning fire and natural born killer. When me bust into flame, watch out some mics. You better turn it, I am make the bad boy bigger. When they come around me, I go on them. Listen to the word and they buy your cuts in.
I'm not a Tory, Spikey.
Return all of the fire, it's a bad man signal, give a sign. I pull your gun, finger, trigger. Return all of the fire, it's a bad man signal, give a sign. I pull your gun, finger, trigger. I pull your gun, finger, trigger. Pull your gun for your trigger. It's a bad man signal, give a sign. Pull your gun for your trigger. Me are the burning fire and natural born killer. When me bust into flame, watch out some mics. You better turn it, I am make the bad boy bigger. When they come around me, I go on them. Listen to the word and they buy your cuts in the middle. When the flames get higher, put up your gun fingers. Return all of the fire, it's a bad man signal, give a sign. I pull your gun finger trigger. Gun finger trigger. Gun finger trigger. Gun finger trigger. Return all of the fire, it's a bad man signal, give a sign. I pull your gun finger trigger. Your gun finger trigger. Pull your gun finger rebel give a sign. Put your gun finger trigger.
Guess I'm a lot like you.
As you sit and breathe, something or another is more vivid. Something or another is more distinct. And it's quite obvious where your attention needs to go. best. I only answer for the money.
At each other for warmth. We had each other for warmth.
And we come back and it's wet in Spa! And away they go! And Skowski not seemingly getting a good drive. Kizyul getting a big drive. Bean getting a monster drive. Hooven is... Oh, they're all... It's chaos! It's absolute chaos! Kizyul takes the lead though! Hooven is taking a lot of runoff there.
Massive pile-up! 6 drivers are out!
What?
Marquina just spun!
Well, that's a red flag. That is a red flag. There will be a lobby restart as we have got a red flag as we have lost 6 drivers. Please record that, Alex. Please say you recorded that.
I have that recorded.
Oh my god, we was watching the battle at the front and
that was brilliant.
That is a red flag. That is a red flag.
Oh, I'm pinging everyone.
Yes. Let them know it's a lobby restart. It will be on random. That it will not. The weather will be set to random again. But that is a lobby restart. But that was insanity. So we're going to go back to restarting it up. Oh my.
Brilliant.
Oh my days.
Miles of fire, I'm losing ground, and in the flashing, my world comes crashing down. I'm left in nowhere, no place to hide, out in the open, like ashes in the sky. I quit the illusion, and in the shadows I will find that I'm indestructible, like a phoenix about to rise, like the dark before the dawn.
nonsense.
You wanna know my feelings every time I look in your eyes. Baby, I can feel your energy, it's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I.
As we're about to get underway, as we have the first red flag of the season brought out by the wet spa of tier 2. 6 cars not making it through, and there'll be jubilation for the boys.
It's dry, finally.
There is dry weather. They have dry weather. I want to check public now. I reckon public's going absolutely bananas for the right reason.
No. No one, actually.
Will it rain later on?
I'm hoping to God it does. That'd make it such an interesting race. And it'd be quite amusing.
It would, because they'll be like, yes, we've avoided the rain. Suddenly, the rain. Oh my. Well, I look forward to watching the replays back of that when we can. Because there's a lot I've been put in. But for now, we're about to get underway. Will Skowski get a better start this time? The lights are off and away they go. Skowski and Kizil having a drag race once again. Bean having to defend off of a Ferrari. Kizil around the outside. Bean getting held off and Hooven is up into P3. So Kizil takes the lead of this race once again. Further back, look out for chaos.
Yeah, lots of contact to the back going through turn 1. But most importantly, Matthews up to P13.
Matthews is
in
a
one
brilliant
corner.
start. Further back, Kizil and Skowski. Skowski pulling alongside Kizil now by the looks of it. Side by side into turn 5. Kizil holds him off though.
Funtenberg and who's that? That's Nick Mangano. They've spun round.
And they're all the way at the back now. That is awful for their race. But back to the front. Because now it's going to be Hooven is having to defend off Bean as they go side by side through No Name. And then Lodeman up into P5, Harris up into P6. Tyre choices also very different between a lot of them. Some are on mediums, some are on softs. I mean hards, sorry. As
Sorry, on the inside of Hooven is. What a send! He's still side by side, but there's a little bit of contact. Oh, Hooven is nearly spins it. He's kept it though. He managed to save that somehow.
But Bean goes through up into P3. We're looking to get past the two hard runners in front. As meanwhile now it's going to be Lodeman on his debut right behind Hooven is now. The medium runners will be wanting to put the pressure on early.
Matthews all over, Harris all over the back of Lodeman, going a bit wide there, but he's looking to make a move up the inside of the bus stop, but backs out, thinks better of it.
Lodeman on the hards.
Markina and Rosu went side by side a little bit there. I didn't catch much of that.
Thrilling stuff, as meanwhile it looks like Ule is making a move on Matthews side by side through La Source. And Ule is defending Matthews off there for P10. Matthews on the medium compound, Ule on the hards. Ule looking at the rear there of Newman. And Newman's put the correct number on now. Well, he was told one number and another, but it's whatever. We've got it all sorted.
And Monk up the inside of Much. Much has just been overtaken by Monk and Binder, and that is a yellow flag for an Alpine.
No, it's a Williams! It's Soybean! Bean has dropped from P3! Soybean in the mud! That promotes Hoogan is up into P3, Lodeman into P4, and Harris up into P5.
Monk, stop giving your teammates alcohol. It's not helping the team whatsoever.
And further back,
day.
Let's have a look at the big gainers and the big losers, the yellow flags! Oh, and it's Harris and Lodeman! And Harris is out!
Oh! That's a big crash!
And we've got a virtual safety car.
What happened there?
We just saw them spin into shot. But Harris is out. So the big losers are Nick Mangano, Soybean, and Phantomberg, all losing almost double digits. Some of them losing 13 and 14. Harris also losing 9, but Harris is out of this race. Van Loon down into P15. Lodeman down in P14 as well.
I think by the looks of it, Lodeman may have caused that incident. He does have a 5-second penalty. So, I'm not too sure. And both Alpines into the pits.
So both Alpines pitting for which seems to be an alternate strategy for both Binder and Van Loon, and the racing has been enabled, and so has the DRS. The front two have quite a lead over the rest. The highest up front runner now on the mediums is Vlad Rosu.
Marquino the inside of Newlands there. Newlands just had to back out. That's another yellow flag.
Much is side by side with Monk. These two not giving it up.
Ule spun round.
So Ule is spun. Nick Mangano picks up 3 seconds already. But Much gets past Monk, and now Monk is having to defend off Zachary Livingston for the final points paying position.
It looks like Matthews has gained a hell of a lot as well. He's been up 11 positions. He's up to P8. He's almost traded positions with his teammate.
Matthews is on a charge on the mediums though. He still have to go onto the slower compound tyre.
That's another yellow flag. Who's that? That's Livingston.
Livingston is spam. Livingston spinning.
Are they allergic to keeping it facing the right way?
Oh, and now it's going to be Livingston and Ule battling it out for P14. As it's going to be now Kizul having to defend off Skowski, who will now have the DRS. Skowski setting the fastest lap of the race. Can you watch that battle though for P5? Because I think it's about to heat up there. We're going to watch the battle for the lead though, because Skowski's going to get the DRS in the Camel Straight.
I'm just having a look. Matthews and Marco looking to go side by side into Eau Rouge. Marco backs out. Matthews is passed.
Matthews up into P7. Meanwhile, Skowski down the camel straight with the DRS. Kizyul with the inside, side by side. Skowski will have the inside for the second corner, but Kizyul might be able to carry more speed. But Skowski now takes the lead. This is two of the drivers who are competing for the Drivers' Championship. As it looks like his AlphaTauri's gone a bit wide there. It looks like it's Newlands.
Yeah, Newlands tried to make a move on Marquina, but it's lost out to Matthews.
Matthews is charging.
Charge. He's up to P6 already.
So Newlands on his debut. Benjamin Newlands and Lobran. And there's a yellow flag. It's for Much. Much has spun in no name. Possible contact.
He's bombed out. He's going to be disqualified unless he resets the track.
I think he can. There. It's not a realistic place to bottom out. I think you'd agree.
Yep.
But meanwhile, the battle for P3.
And Livingston spun again at Pouon. He's facing the wrong way at that blind corner.
Tombstone living up to his name.
And Much just spun again.
Much with the hot tyres as well. The guys with the hot tyres are really struggling. But we're going to go back to this battle for P1. Because Skowski has pulled a big lead already over Kizyul. But Kizyul remaining within DRS. Also, carry on watching that battle for P5 onwards. They're all very tight back there, Alex.
I am having a look. Marquina is gaining on... Matthews is gaining on Marquina. He's very close. Marquina nearly spins. He's just caught that. But Matthews all over the back of him. Looking to get past on the Camel straight, I'd imagine.
Not close enough. Maybe Rosu might be able to make something happen on Hooveneers. He's a little bit far off though as well. Not using any battery. So we're going to go for that battle for P6. Because here we have it. And Matthews is gaining and gaining on Marquinhos. Goes for the outside. And Matthews is up into P5 on them mediums. He's really making it work.
That's a yellow flag. That's Drunky Monkey. He's spun.
Marquinhos all over the rear still. They're still side by side. 4 P5. But I think Matthews has got the job done as Newlands picks up a 3-second penalty in the background there for running a little bit wide. So Matthews
definitely does have the move done for now. There's no other place that Marquina can get past before the run. Yeah, the run down to bus stop.
But meanwhile, Rosu's a lot closer now to Hooveneers. Skowski has already pulled a second on Kizyul by the looks of it.
Not quite a second. There are about 8/10 gap, and oh, it's just spun. Marco has also spun. I think they made contact.
Who spun with who?
Newlands and Marco. Newlands managed to catch it. No, he didn't. He spun round. I think he got damaged. He clobbered the wall there.
Has he got a puncture?
Exit.
He hasn't got damage somehow.
No, I don't know how he's done that.
But he now falls behind Lodeman. The two debutants here today are right behind one another for the final few points paying positions. But back to this battle for first. Will Kizyul be able to gain on Skowski here? It's very close, but no doing.
Marquina looks for a move on Matthews there. He's up the inside towards Laycom, I believe.
And he will have that move done before the corner. So now it's going to be Bean and Matthews on the mediums along with Rosu. They'll be hoping for a safety car at some point so they can get a nice pit window.
And Rosu and Hooveneers side by side through no name. Hooveneers on the grass. Rosu on the grass.
They're through Pouon now. It's side by side still almost. Hooveneers holding position, but Rosu looking for a much better drive out of the corner.
Hooveneers keeps it.
And meanwhile,
excellent defense from him.
Soybean has made a great recovery up into P7 after his spin. Is all over the back of Matthews now.
And Rosu on the inside of Hooveneers down towards Blancheron. Here they go. Hooveneers still sticking there. There's a little bit of contact. Through Blancheron they go. They're keeping side by side. Rosu forced off the track a little bit, down into the bus stop chicane. Rosu later on the brakes, he makes the move. Can he keep it though? Juvenes taking a bit of a tighter line, trying to get the switchback, doesn't get it done. And Rosu has made that move very nicely.
And Marquinhos has a bit of a train forming behind him here. It's Marquinhos, Matthews, Bean, Fantenberg, Loadman, and Mangano? Yeah, Nick Mangano. Newlands is all the way down. Is it Newlands? It's Newlands.
Newlands is all the way down in P14.
Skowski now looking like he's got a second gap over Kiziel. He might be able to further extend now without the aid of DRS. But
that's a yellow flag! That's Loman, he spun it Eau Rouge!
Loman's out!
Oh, he pressed retire.
Did he?
He's gonna block Drunky Monkey. Not quite, but they're all having to avoid him. And anyway, around the outside of Monk, down into Lake On.
And Monk's
he's
rear
made
is
that
flashing.
move on.
Monk has a flashing rear. Monk has been deploying battery hard. As it looks like that battling is going to be Livingston battling someone now. Livingston battling Binder for what is P14 currently on track. So Loadman sadly not finishing his first race here in Amethyst. But meanwhile the battle for P3 is heating up. The final points, the final podium position between the Ferrari and the Red Bull. And Matthews is falling down the order. Matthews is in P7 now.
I'm just going to switch you to P3. Rosu is all over the back of
literally on that right now.
Down into the bus stop. He's going to look for a move possibly. But no, he thinks better of it. He stays just behind. Because he knows he's going to have that DRS down the Camel Straight. He does not have... Oh, Juvenes runs a bit wide.
Big snap for Juvenes. Rosu might be able to get him into La Source.
Not a smart move, and he knows that. He knows he can get past easily on the Camel Straight, but Juvenes does have more ERS than Rosu. Both are deploying. Rosu still on it. Juvenes off of it.
Juvenes getting a big drive out of La Source though.
Oh, he's running wide.
Very wide.
That was not tidy whatsoever.
And this could mean it's all game for Vlad. Will Vlad be able to make the move? I don't think so. Meanwhile, I'd like to point your attention, Bean right over the rear of Marquinhos, looks for the inside.
Oh! That was an Alex Albon-esque move. No contact. It was very close there. But Bean looking to make a move still on Marquinhos. That was very, very close to doing that.
And with the mediums, 8 laps in, are the mediums starting to feel it a little bit? Because Matthews' blinding pace is starting to fall off a little. He's now almost being eyed up by Fantenberg.
I would imagine so, yeah. But Marquinhos defended that excellently. He kept his line. Bean opted for the grass, which obviously didn't help him into the next few corners. He's going to have less grip. And Marquinhos had put him on a tighter line, which allowed him to defend that even better. So well done to Marquinhos there.
But I'd like to pull you back to the battle for P3 because Rosu is still all over the rear of Juvenes. But this medium, the two front runners are on hard tyres. So the medium tyre runners' gamble has really not paid off here.
And Juvenes is going to find his job a bit easier now that Rosu's tyres are going to start falling off pretty soon, seeing as he is on the mediums, and he's looking to get a bit of a better drive, taking it wider in the first part of that chicane, but again, not getting that drive that he would have wanted.
And good news for the guys, there's not expected any rain for the entirety of this race. As we're on lap 9 now, there is not going to be a sudden wet patch towards the end. As Marco...
I think he cut the chicane.
Got a 10-second.
But Rosu all over the back of Juvenes now. He's not deploying ERS. Juvenes is... He's not close enough to make a move into Lake On. He's going to be screaming inside of that helmet. He's going to be wanting to get past.
But Bean and Marquinhos are battling it out once again. And Matthews trying to go up the inside of Marquinhos as well. An opportunistic move for the Mercedes driver there. Marquinhos defends off the second attack, but Bean is through, and Bean will be looking to try and catch up to the battling pair ahead. Oh!
Oh! Little bit of contact there. Side by side.
And Marquinhos side by side. Very close stuff. This now leaves Matthews in grave danger from the rear.
Look at Bean is... Has he?
Bean is
Bean
gapping
has-
Marquinhos.
I think that's a 1.1 second gap, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's not that much.
I'm maybe doing really bad maths at the moment.
But he is definitely pulling away. Meanwhile, Monk,
Yeah, it's over a second.
Monk lost the position to Marco Mangano, but it was from that corner cut. The gap's a second already.
It is already a second. And I'd just like to say, there is a train forming behind Marquinhos once again, with Bean pulling out ahead of him. But that's a yellow flag, and that is that Van Loon?
It's not Rolf Van Loon. Oh, he's been practicing all night. Rolf
and Vlad's into the pits.
Vlad's into the pits. An early pit stop. But I feel bad for Rolf. He'd been practicing for the last 2 days non-stop, and he's currently not having a race to remember for him. But Skalski has now got over a 2-second lead over Kiziel. And they've got 10 seconds to Huveniers, who's now in no man's land. Vlad is going to come out in P10 ahead of Marco Mangano, which is huge. If he was behind Marco, Marco could have played the ultimate team role. So Vlad will be looking to go and fly on them hard tyres. But they're going to be cold. Marco might be able to get a move here done. And Marco Mangano is past Vlad Rosu.
Is indeed.
Vlad's trying to heat up the tyres. But Monk's behind him. It's a bit of a dangerous thing to be doing.
I don't think it was enough to be classed as dangerous. Monk was way too far back to be in any danger there.
Very true.
I think, yeah, I would have done the same in his position. His tyres are going to be cold.
Marquinhos is starting to lose Matthews a little bit. Maybe the medium tyres starting to feel it on this 10th lap.
I would imagine so. You've got to remember there's only 22 laps, which means they've done 10 laps on the mediums, but they're only going to be doing 12 on the hards.
Spa does absolutely drain the life out of your tyres very quickly as well. Very demanding on the tyre, especially corners like Pouon and
El Rouge even.
El Rouge, yes. So it's going to be Matthews now. Will Matthews be into the pits here?
I would imagine so. He hasn't got a teammate to worry about. So
Soybean coming into the pits as well. Matthews into the pits, both darting into the pits now. So it frees up Marquinhos and it frees up Fantenberg and Nick Mangano as well. Let's see how this alternate strategy plays off for the medium runners. They'll be hoping for a safety car now.
It obviously depends on what lap Hooven is and those pit, because the hard runners, they're gonna be, well, the new hard runners, the ones that have just pit, they're gonna have better tyre life, they're gonna have better grip because they're
coming
not
out behind his teammate. Will Monk play the team role? As further ahead, Vlad is battling with Marco. Marco will be trying to hold up Vlad for his teammate as long as possible. Vlad needs to get past this Ferrari.
He's going for it. He just can't make it done. Excellent defending from Marco there.
Marco parking that car, being the moving chicane. Vlad now around the outside of the hairpin. Marco can squeeze him wide if he so chooses to. But Vlad through No Name, and Vlad Rosu is past Marco Mangano.
What a move from him. That was absolutely fantastic.
Chef's kiss to that battling there. Huveniers is actually falling closer to Marquinhos more than anything. Marquinhos, Fantenberg and Nick Mangano closing in on Justin Huveniers. Ule currently riding with no one, and Kizel is the first of the hard runners to pit. He's looking for that undercut on Skalski ahead, but will he be able to make 2 seconds here with an undercut? I don't know.
And Marquinhos also into the pits.
Oh! Matthews has spun! He's lost his whole wing! And there's another spin! It's an Alpine, it's Binder! Matthews, he was looking to score his first points of the season, has tossed it away like Caesar salad.
He was doing so well.
And there's a good few cars into the pits. Fantenberg into the pits. Nick Mangano also coming into the pits here.
And it looks like Marco and Bean are going side by side through our Rouge. Moving it. He's tried to hold He's tried to hold Monk up so that Hooveneers wouldn't be overtaken, but Monk is going round the outside of Hooveneers into Lake On, and Marco playing the team game and just backing off.
Hooveneers is probably their best shot at a podium here, but Bean just set a purple sector 1. Oh, that one didn't work.
I'm interested to see if Skowski will
Newlands has the fastest first 2 sectors though. Skowski still the final sector as his fastest, but Newlands is flying out there in that AlphaTauri outfit.
Yeah, looks like Skowski will be pitting this lap, so we're going to have to watch out for Kiziel and see where he comes out. He is going to have 1 lap old tyres, but he's going to have the undercut on Skowski possibly. But
and he will be using his battery now as Skowski is into the pits. This is where Kiziel can make or break Kiziel's race. As Ule, P3 as well, surely he will be also pitting. Kiziel now coming around through the bus stop chicane. Skowski still in the pits. It's going to be close.
It's going to be extremely close. But Skowski out of the pits now. Kiziel is going to be all over the back of him, but we've got to remember Skowski is going to have those colder tyres. He is ahead, but how much is he going to lose over this next lap to Kiziel behind? He's on the warmed up 1 lap old mediums. They're going to have similar grip when they've both warmed up. But Skowski is struggling already.
Bean jumped past Hooveneers in that pit stop window.
And Bean's looking to get past Vlad as well.
Bean's
he's making an excellent recovery. And he is. He's past Vlad. And so's Hooveneers!
And Hooveneers might get Bean here!
That's a yellow flag. Is that... Was that Drunky Monkey?
I don't know.
I think it might have been Drunky Monkey.
Has Drunky Monkey got damage in the from the pit exit?
He has not, but he was quite... He's dropped off the back of Marco quite a lot. So I'd imagine that was Drunky Monkey.
Meanwhile, the battle for P10, or P9, as Newlands has a 3-second time penalty, he's somehow got to try and get a gap to Ule. But this
and if you look at P1, Kiziel's just gone fastest sector 2, I think. If I'm not wrong.
No, it still belongs to Newlands.
Oh, and
Bean
he's
has the
all
fastest
over
sector 1.
Oh.
Hooveneers, though, is all over the rear of Bean, who has Rosu, who was P3, is dropped to P5 on 1 straight. And yeah, Rosu is dropping off the back of this pair. Bean is flying. Kiziel does set the fastest lap of the race, though. Kiziel is pushing hard.
Yes, he's within a second now of Skowski. He is going to have that DRS, but can Skowski pull away before the next lap?
I don't know. I don't think he will.
I mean, Skowski, he pulled about a 10th coming out of the source, like, straight away. So, who knows? He may be able to get that gap down, but obviously the DRS helping Kiziel, getting him to 5/10 behind Skowski.
I want to give a big shout out to Kiziel's new helmet design. It actually goes hard.
I haven't seen it. I'll have a look.
It goes hard. Bean is holding off the medium runner of Hooveneers.
I'm very, very surprised that he's managing to do that, because those hards are going to be a lot slower. Who will it be for the podium? I'm thinking it's going to be Hooveneers.
Hooveneers needs to get past Bean, though, before them mediums don't become the optimal tyre.
Well, Bean is going to have DRS, and they have similar ERS.
And don't rule out, Marco and Vandenberg are starting to close in on this trio, as Matthews picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Marco is definitely not closing in.
Also, can we have a moment of silence for Will Swan, who would normally be racing? His team are losing 2-0 to United in the finals.
Well, that sounds like a him problem.
It does, it does.
Why would I give a moment of silence?
Because he's going to be crying in Wembley.
And Kiziel is under 5/10 behind Skowski now.
On them medium tyres is flying.
Is indeed. And Skowski has fresher tyres. I'm surprised he's not pulling that gap. He managed to earlier. I mean, he may not have used any ERS. It looks like Kiziel has a lot less ERS than
Kiziel running at 22%. right now. So, and Kiziel is deploying. He wants to get the move done here and now.
I don't think he's going to be able to.
Gets the
if I was
DRS
him,
though.
I would just gain in and stay behind for another lap.
We saw it in
back
Tier 1
DRS.
as he almost reaches 340 kilometers per hour. He's at 339, flying down that straight. As meanwhile, Rosu's been dropped off the back. Hooveners, though, holding on to Bean.
Bean just has immense pace. I think he's managing to keep that those hard tyres working for him, and I don't know how he's doing it.
Hooveners just went straight on.
Oh!
He just disappeared from shot, and he loses the position to Rosu, and that's going to bring Nick Mangano and Mans Vattenberg into the picture. Even more so now on their medium tyres.
Well,
That was like something out of a comedy.
there.
That's something out of a comedy show. He just went off the track.
Well, to be fair, Bean has had a lifeline there. He's had one life saved because Hooveners has dropped off the bat now, and
Hooveners has to get back past Rosu as well. This is...
he's not within a second either.
No, if anything, Marco is Nick Mangano is closer than he is to Vlad. But back to this battle for P1, because it is going to be Kiziel right behind Skowski here. Still within a second of one another. You want to save it for the last lap, as we saw in Tier 1. Doing it on the last lap really can make the difference.
That's a yellow flag. That is Livingston. He's in the wall. He's lost.
He's lost his wing.
end plate.
He's lost an end plate, and Tombstone has returned.
Tombstone. Oh.
And Kiziel right behind Skowski. The pair of them now coming through turns 5, 6 and 7. What a beautiful camera angle. And when it gives you a good camera angle, it's just so nice. As Hooveners has pulled up to the back of Rosu. And further back, Vandenberg making a move on Nick Mangano for position. That is P6 for Mans Vandenberg. And Nick Mangano picks up another 3-second time penalty. He might be falling into the clutches of Marquina with them time penalties. Nick needs to keep it between the white lines.
It does indeed.
As a half Italian, a half American, Nick Mangano should be used to keeping it within the lines. That is a mafia joke, if any of you don't get it. As Van Loon and Livingston both into the pits here.
Yeah, I obviously Livingston picked up damage. I'm not too sure about Van Loon. I think he may be pitting onto the mediums to, I don't know, maybe go for fastest lap.
Wouldn't you go
Salvage
soft?
something. I'm not sure the softs would last that long.
Meanwhile, though, it's going to be Kiziel all over the rear still of Skowski. And Drunky Monkey has returned with a 3-second time penalty.
I think he returned quite a while ago. He's down in P12. He's got penalties. I'm not sure.
The wet weather specialist is not performing too hot in the dry.
He just comes up with good strategies when it starts to rain. And I mean, we thought he was Drunky Monkey in Imola, but he pulled off a masterclass there.
He did, but there's no rain here today in Belgium. The only thing that is wet is probably his palate with the alcohol he's been consuming. But meanwhile, this battle for P4, because it is now a train from Vlad all the way down to Nick. Nick, though, is 6 seconds of time penalties. And Bean has further extended his lead. Bean surely is going to be the third place finisher. And Hooven is now on Vlad. And he gets the move done on the Camel Straight.
The Camel Straight?
Yes, the Camel Straight. Oh! Oh! Soybeans picked up 3 seconds of time penalties. His nemesis, the track limits, have struck again. And now he's got to gap. Oh! Munch has retired and left the session. Oh, okay.
No, he crashed! He crashed in the source. Is that a full safety car?
No, it's a virtual.
Oh.
The leader's saved by a virtual safety car there.
Well, depending on how well Kiziel can get racing off the back of this, he may be able to close in the gap to Skowski.
Much having a race to forget. He had been performing amazingly in Austria. and in France.
But not much has gone on here. That was the worst joke, and I apologise for that.
I didn't even listen to you.
Right, okay.
5 laps to go for the leading cars, though. No one a lap down currently, but Van Loon's on the softs now.
I think he may be going for fastest lap. Soybean's gonna drive through!
Soybean takes the L!
What's he doing?
And there's yellow flags, and it's for Monk.
Drunky monkey.
Monk is driving very slow there. Can
He's
we get
got
some
a
L's in
bloke.
chat, though? Can we get some L's in chat for Soybean?
Kiziel's only 3/10 behind Skalski now as well. And Newland's into the pits.
Newland's running in P11. Interesting choice to pit here. Soybean. Oh!
And Fantenberg and Rosu side by side.
Fantenberg through on Rosu. Rosu, though, with a better drive out on the exit. And Fantenberg might be hunting down Hooveneers. I don't know what Soybean's going to do. He's just going to have to cry.
In the mud.
That's going to be him battling for the final few points, not the big points. You've got to remember, Marco still has a 10-second penalty.
He does indeed, and look at that. Kiziel all over the back of Skalski. Skalski has 50% ERS. Kiziel barely has 15.
If Skalski can win this race, it'll be huge for his driving title chances. Back-to-back wins while you're in the lead of the points is everything you need, really, especially when your closest rivals in Kiziel. I think Kiziel is his closest rival. Possibly.
I'm not sure.
Well, it's not Soybean anymore as Rosu loses another position
To Nick.
to Nick. But Nick with 6 seconds of time penalties. But this is going to put Marquinhos in striking range now.
And Kiziel 4/10 behind.
Rosu is P2 currently and Bean serving his drive through now. Rosu, who we're watching now, was P2 in the Wild Drivers Championship. He's your current reigning champion as well. Just, this isn't a result he would have been wanting. P6 as things stand. P5 when Nick Mangano's penalties get applied. But Kiziel is battling Skalski. Rosu spun, we're hearing.
Did he?
Did he? I don't know what Alex Day is saying. Oh, he wants him to spin.
Oh.
Oh, okay. He's predicting a Rosu spin.
And Bean is out in P8.
Being out in P8. The next car to catch is Marquinhos, who is quite a while around. Ule. If Ule can make some gains. Actually, the battle for P2 might be interesting, but that battle for P3, because Fantenberg is really pulling in on Hooveneers. Oh! Oh, that's literally as I switched from he spins!
Oh, God.
Fantenberg pushing too hard. Spins. Will no longer be gaining on Hooveneers. So back to the battle for P2.
P2?
P1 and P2. 3 laps to go for these guys. Hooveneers has yet again been let off a leash here with another error for a driver battling him. I can't believe what I just witnessed. Fantenberg was doing so well.
Skalski just has so much ERS compared to Kiziel, and Kiziel's going to be getting impatient behind Skalski at this point. He's so close to getting past him, but he just doesn't have that straight line speed. He doesn't have the ERS to blast past Skalski.
Oh! Big crash! Big crash! How is he not DNF'd?
Oh, God.
It was Monk and Newland. How is he alive? How has he survived that?
Drunky Monkey making a triumphant return this race.
I was like, I was like, oh, there's a bit of a battle going on here. Let's go have a look. And then I witnessed death. How has he survived? I don't know. But we caught that perfectly on stream. But the battle for P1 is still going on. Newlands without a wing.
I think Kiziel is running lower wings than Skowski, but Skowski just has the ERS to stay out of trouble of Kiziel. But I think Kiziel's going to be looking very, very close, closer than usual to Skowski here. So
But you've got
he's
to wait
possibly...
until the last lap, surely, as they have 2 laps to go.
Not necessarily, because if he gets past now and pulls out a big enough gap before the next lap, he may be in for it. He may
Very
be
true.
in for the win.
Vlad Rosu has lost the position now to Sergio Marquinhos as well. The Haas pairing running very well today. But Hoovenes has a train behind him. These guys are running a train on Spa.
Because you're very, very close.
He's got one more lap realistically to do it then.
I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Skowski just has so much ERS compared to Kiziel. It's just not realistic.
And meanwhile, where Monk murdered one person, he's side by side now with Matthews. Into the bus stop chicane they go. I was expecting murder. I didn't get murder.
No, you were hoping for
I
murder.
wasn't hoping for murder, not at all.
Are you sure?
Yeah. The battle for P3 is going on as well, though. Hoovenes has a train behind him of Nick Mangano, Marquinhos and Rosu. Rosu has been losing positions. Kiziel is close, though.
He's not close enough. He doesn't have the ERS. He has 20%. Skowski has 50%.
And Monk has made the move on Matthews. Livingston has Newlands into the pits once again. Monk's going to get another penalty point for that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, Monk. Oh, Monk. Oh, actually, Nick Mangano all over the rear of Hoovenes, looking to get the move done. Nick Mangano, even though with 6 seconds time penalty, has got past Hoovenes. Hoovenes struggling a little bit. And Hoovenes picks up 3 seconds. And Marquinhos around the outside. But thinks better of it. We've got to go back to Kiziel though. We're going to ride on board with him as he come down the camel straight once again. Will Kiziel be able to do it? He's deploying all his battery. I don't think he's close enough though.
No, Skowski's also deploying everything he has. He just doesn't have enough overspeed to get past him or even get close enough.
And I think that will be that.
Well, we still have the run down to bus stop, but
Very
again,
true.
that's
Kiziel breaking later.
dependent.
And meanwhile, that battle for P3, because Hoovenes is trying to go back up the inside of Nick Mangano. You got to remember, these both have penalties. Bean had a drive-through, and he's almost only 3 seconds behind Rosu again.
Oh, Jesus.
But back to this battle, because Skowski has got Kiziel breathing down his neck now. This is the closest they've been coming through this section.
But look at the difference in ERS. Kiziel's not going to have enough. There's no way he has enough to make this.
And his tyres are going to be very old now. 60% on them fronts.
Yeah, Skowski is just pulling away down to the bus stop. So unless Kiziel makes a heroic send and murders both of them, I don't think it's going to be Kiziel winning this race. It is going to be Skowski.
And I think it is true. It's going to be Skowski picking up back-to-back wins. And it's going to be Kasper Skowski unless he spins on the curb, and he doesn't do a monk. And it's going to be Kasper Skowski takes the win. Kiziel P2, but the battle for P3 isn't over because the Hoovenes are being pushed along by Nick Mangano. Into the bus stop chicane. Will we see a move? Nick around the outside. A drag race for the pair of them. And Hoovenes will get it. Just. But with the penalties, Hoovenes loses 2 positions. Nick Mangano drops to P7. Marquinhos 3rd. Rosu 4th. 5th for Hoovenes. 6th for Soybean. 7th for Nick Mangano. 8th. Mans Fantenberg. What could have been if he didn't spin? P9. for Simon Ule, and it'll be Nick Mangano.
Mike spun!
What?
Mike spun!
He's facing the wrong way!
I switched and he bombed out on the curb, he hit the wall, he's lost his wing!
Oh my days. Binder! Up into P11. P12 will be for Matthews. 13th now for Monk. And it's the battle for P14 between Zach Livingston, Newlands and Van Loon. Van Loon, who has the fastest lap of the race, by the way. And it will be Livingston beating both Newlands and Van Loon.
What a race.
Oh my. What a race indeed.
Well done to Haas as well, that's a double podium for
Really
them.
big for their constructors charge. Very, very important. And we're hearing news that Will Swan is currently crying in London. But here we have Skowski, Kasper Skowski, coming up to take the top step in a Haas sandwich. But once again, Kasper Skowski is P1, is your winner, further extending his Drivers' Championship lead. Kizio and Marquinhos round out the top three for a thrilling race from the start to finish. We had a red flag restart after chaos in the wet. We had to give it a few hours. The rain disappeared, the track dried up, and the boys were able to go racing and a bit safer in their dry conditions. There we have it, the front two with a monster lead to the rest of the field. Van Loon, the final... No! Van Loon getting ahead of both Livingston and Newlands on penalties. Van Loon keeping it between the white lines. But we're going to get ready now to do the interviews.
That was a thrilling race.
It was. Action from start to finish.
I've just seen that clip of Monk murdering the Alpha Tower.
I caught it perfectly on stream.
I think that's going to be a bit more than a penalty point, if I'm honest. He doesn't have the ERS to blast past Skowski.
Oh! Big crash! It was a big crash. That wet start was amazing.
Oh, it was hilarious.
It was probably the highlight of what we witnessed.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, let's bring your race winner up in Skowski.
Hello there.
Hello, P1 once again. We're getting used to you taking this top step in the race.
How are you?
It's
Holy.
happening a lot. You didn't get the start you wanted though.
Yeah, not really. It's actually the repeat of last season's Spa, where I got jumped at the start. But yeah, very, very good pace from both me and Kishel. Very deserved P2 for him. Both of us made basically minimal mistakes, or maybe even none. Yeah, that was a very good race.
And I can only imagine what your reaction was when the first race was wet.
I mean, that would have been okay with me, but yeah, the wet start, let's say it, didn't really come to my expectations. But very luckily, there was a red flag waved, and
Wait until you see the
another
clips.
restart.
What I'm going to say is wait until you see the clips from further back.
I
Six
already
cars.
saw them.
6 cars didn't make it through.
We have already seen it, unfortunately.
Oh.
6 cars, immediate DNFs. That was just hilarious. Basically, we witnessed something that happened in real life Formula One in 1998, I guess it was.
But talk us through your race, because it seems to have gone very well for you.
Didn't expect Kishel to have such a good pace. Even though he told me through the DMs just after the race that he didn't have it. Basically after the pit stops, my engineer Jacob was telling me, save the battery, don't show your cards yet. And I was stressed, that's for sure. Yeah, without Jacob, it couldn't have happened.
And Ule, P9 for yourself, I think.
Yep.
Quiet race for you, avoiding trouble all around, really.
Actually, I did not, because when Harris crashed out, I had wet start flashbacks and I was caught up as well here. So, luckily me, I avoided damage. I didn't have to pit, but yeah. Also, after the VSC restart, I think I clashed with Aston that DNF later on, which is not ideal as well, but well, I got what I got.
Well, in the end, though, solid point scoring for the Alfa Romeo pack for both of you. And Monza's next. How do you guys feel for Monza?
Monza. Haven't driven this track for a while. Maybe in a different game. It was on Assetto. But we will see. I think basically everyone would go for 0-0 wings, if it's dry, of course. Not saying that it should be wet or something. With a little bit of practice, I think I can manage the results as well as I did today.
And anything either of you two would like to add before we go down to the Haas pairing below?
Skalski is actually for it, but I noticed the pattern that each time we restart lobby, the race, which is supposed to be dry, is wet, which wasn't the case because we restarted twice today. So yeah, interesting stuff. But through quali, I don't have any feelings for Monza except that we want to remind that Alfa Romeo is Italian team as well, and we just want to beat Ferrari.
Oh yeah, it's our home race.
Second one this season.
Yeah.
Let's
hope it will be better than last one.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing I'll add is since I've rejoined Alfa Romeo, they've been, I think, on their highest form for now at least. We've seen today a great double stack from the pit crew as well, and I'm just hoping to see more of it. And nothing else to add. We will not show our cards for Monza yet. You've heard Skalski's and Ulas, of course. Skalski's at least opinion about Monza. He hasn't driven it for a long time, but I don't think it will stop him from improving even more than he did for Spa today.
Well, thank you very much, guys, and congratulations on P1 once again, Kasper Skalski.
Thank you.
And now it's time to bring up P2 and P3. Kizil, you're driving Kasper Skalski all the way to the limits there today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I was driving him to the limits. He was actually driving me to the limits. Like, I had to dump all of my battery to stay in his DRS. He had just way better pace than me. But I cannot say I did not have the pace, to be fair, because I think I can say that I was the second fastest car. Maybe Marquinhos was faster than me because, oh my god, this guy went from P8 to P3 with wing damage before the pits. So that was amazing from him.
Well, congratulations for the pair of you, both on the podium today. How does it feel for Haas?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of points. I was happy when I saw him on P3 spot, not gonna lie.
Marquinhos being very quiet.
Yep, I mean, race was good for both of us. Double podium. Had good points. Yep.
Best I've seen you drive in a long time. It was so good to watch. So, yeah.
And no Rasmussen. We heard he's been stolen away, but from you, Kizil.
Pardon?
We've heard Rasmussen has been stolen from you.
What do you mean by that?
He now has been taken by his partner.
What partner?
He doesn't know.
How does he not know?
Kizio doesn't know.
Do I not know about something? Is
He
it
doesn't know.
the snap he sent me? Is it his girlfriend?
It is his girlfriend.
Oh, you what a cunt! You didn't even. Oh, he's getting a reserve seat next race. I don't give a shit.
So that is where your actual teammate went, but you had Marquinhos more than willing to fill in the seat and clearly performing adamantly.
Yep.
Marquinhos better than Rasmussen?
Washmussen?
Do you think that, Kizio?
Mm.
Do you think that, Kizio?
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Rasmussen isn't quick this season, so
Or
I think
last
we can all agree Marquinhos is a bit quicker. But 2 seasons ago Rasmussen was a god, so
Yeah.
And anything else you guys would like to say with Monza on the horizon?
Let's skip that question. Let's get to the most important thing, which is that masterpiece Marquinhos and Magano created on the first start in the rain. Oh my god, can we congratulate Marquinhos right here, right now, please?
I didn't actually fully catch it on stream, but I know that absolute chaos happened, and I've seen the clips.
Oh my god. Mangano decided to go into Marquinhos, and then Marquinhos beautifully collected another 5 drivers with him. It was beautiful.
6 cars DNF before the
6, not 5 then, see? 6.
What, did Marquinhos not DNF from that?
Yeah, I did.
He did. That is just amazing. Like, I think Zervold couldn't do that.
Let's not talk about Zervold right now. My thumb still hurts.
Oh, force feedback.
Direct drive. But with Monza on the horizon, we're not going to avoid this question. How do you two feel for Monza?
Same as Skowski. I haven't driven in Monza for a long time, to be fair. We didn't have it on the... No, we did have it last season on the calendar, right?
Yes,
Or...
it was a sprint race, and it's going to be a sprint race once again.
Yeah, that was the last time I've driven in Monza, and, to be fair, Monza is going to show who's actually, the quickest driver, to be fair, because, I think everyone will go for the same setups, maybe a little bit different, but, not much different.
Is there anything else you both would like to add before we end the stream? Because no one else wanted to have an interview.
Yeah, I'm sad we missed out on a all-Polish podium again.
Yeah, screw you, Marquinhos.
Fuck you, Marquinhos.
Oh,
He has
wow.
nothing to respond with. Nothing to respond.
I wish I had Ule as my teammate today.
Well, then,
Ule came 9th.
I've no idea. This descended into chaos. Anyway, thank you very much, boys, for joining me up here today. And tune in for Wednesday as the Tier 3 drivers tackle Spa. Will we have a trice coming between myself and Zerveld?
Bro, team orders.
I hope
Zerveld's plan TL, take out Luke.
Oh, please don't. I don't want my thumb to get dislocated again.
And I swear to God, I'm so sorry. I told him I was watching him drive, and I was like, don't turn right. Luke is on your right, please. It's Luke on your right, please don't. And this guy, into the right.
He popped my thumb out of the socket. I had to pop it in on the main straight.
Jesus.
And then go to A&E to get it fully checked. Anyway, I'll show you the clip after because of what I did.
I don't even know if I want to see it.
It got age restricted. Thank you very much for joining us today. Tune in on Wednesday for the Tier 3 drivers. Thank you and goodbye.
Alrighty, bye bye.
Where's